Hi, you're watching Chris on Real Talk on Thursday, the 18th of February 2021. I'm still alive, so I do apologise, everyone, because I've got this and I can't flip it on the camera so you can actually see it, but you know what it says. It's the same as this logo down here. Dizzy Hacker, Connor Green, what's going on? Thank you very much for joining me this morning. Let me try and get this sorted out. Give me 1 sec. Right, let me hide that. Right, that's cool. So, I haven't been live for a long time. The last time I went live, I was talking about this rather nasty racist a-hole, which literally made me feel ashamed to be a white man. And that takes a lot for me to say that. But we've moved on from there. A lot's happened in the last few weeks. We've had the unfortunate passing of Sir Captain Tom Moore. And I have been an absolute trooper on social media trying to defend this bloke because there's been an abundance, and I'm going to say an abundance, of idiots out there who seem to find it acceptable to say that he's not been a national treasure in the short time that we've known him as a nation. The fact that he has caused more people to be inspired and get up and do something and has done more for the nation just by walking than most people do in a lifetime, that says something. Jack Hemmant, good morning. You have recently followed me on Twitter, so thanks for joining me on Twitter. And if anyone else wants to join me on Twitter, you can find me at Real Talk Vlogger. You can find me there. Robert Madden, morning Chris, hope you're well. I'm good. Give me 1 sec, let me try and get this microphone sorted out. I've got a lot not really sorted out. It's what I've not got a lot sorted out. Things aren't going my way today. Let's put it that way. I've got to try and get things done the way I like them. But I've been a busy boy at home. That's it. Let's hope this thing doesn't fall down. Knowing my luck, it probably will. But no, I've been okay. I'm alive still. That's what's happening. It has been a difficult few weeks, though, because obviously I'm still at home. I'm still furloughed. It has been difficult. However, on a slightly higher note, I have had my first jab, which is exciting. I'm excited to get the first jab. I had the Pfizer vaccine. That was a good 2 weeks ago now, and my next one should be in April the 23rd, I think. So I'm not sure when I'm going back to work. I'm supposed to be penciled in for late March, but I don't see it happening. But if that's what they need me to do, that's what they need me to do. Sarah's Random Video says, have you seen the tribute to Sir Captain Tom on sites from Sing Along With Us, Chris? I haven't seen that. Sorry, Sarah, I haven't. First 5 news series, Travel Centre TV Network, Norwich. Nikki Thurlow, love Lauren Siggings, love Nikki Thurlow. Okay, not a problem. Jams 6, the 12s have missed you. You know what? I've missed driving on the 12s, you know. I complained about the job so much when I was, obviously before I got ill, basically. But it's amazing what you miss, isn't it? It's one of those things where you don't realise what you've got until you haven't got it. And I do miss driving up and down on my route. I miss the people, I miss my colleagues, and believe it or not, I miss driving those LTs. I did notice, however, on Facebook the other day that TA1 is out and about recently, and I think that bus should be scrapped. I can't believe that bus is still out and about, but each to their own. Some people like it, some people like me don't like it. But look at this, look, and it gets better, look. I even got a Real Talk t-shirt, look, right on the tit. You know, got my logo there and everything. I thought I won't go too much, I won't have my face there as well. But you know what? That's good. And if anyone's asking, Sean Maxwell, how you doing? I'm not selling merch, so please don't ask. I won't be able to make any money on merch. My wonderful missus actually made this and the t-shirt for me. which is fantastic. Ross McGarry says, glad to hear you're still alive, talking piss out the... Taking the piss out of Scott. Taking the piss out the Scotch. You say piss like you're Sean Connery. Always makes me laugh, pal. Yeah, so it is a late meeting, no bother. It's Argos in Sainsbury's, Argos Longwater. How you doing? We like Argos. You know, Mrs. works for Sainsbury's. Get a nice discount in Sainsbury's and Argos. That's all good. So we've all noticed that the COVID figures have been dropping lately. In London, I believe, if I saw it correctly on the news, that the figures have dropped by at least 80%, which is good. But we need to, at this point, make sure we dig our heels in that little bit more. I know lockdowns have been difficult, and Boris Johnson has rightfully said that he wants to make, well, when we come out of lockdown, complete irreversible. He doesn't want to do it. He didn't want to do the first one, evidently, because he did it very late. He didn't want to do the second one, and I can assure you, he doesn't take any pleasure or pride putting us in this third lockdown, although I did call it. I said it was going to happen, and it happened. But that's just down to people's just being people, not following the rules, not wanting to do what they've been told, unfortunately. But there you go. But he wants to make this irreversible. And the only way we're going to make this irreversible is if we all do our part. And what can we do to do our part? We can wear masks. This is a mask, obviously, with my son's YouTube logo on it. So he's only 12, but he does animation videos on his phone and he posts them. So if you want to go and drop him a sub, it's JRS Animations. You can go and drop him a sub. That would be he'd appreciate that. He really would. It's just a hobby for him. But there you go. But we can all do our part. We can still social distance as and when things hopefully and eventually start to reopen. And parents with kids, instill into your kids, get this across to them when they are at school, not to go and jump all over their mates. Because when I go and pick up my son from school, I see kids running out, jumping all over each other. That's not the way to do things. They need to have, at this point, a bit of more personal control and responsibility. They should be aware that there is a killer virus out there. And it is younger generations that are not taking it seriously. I mean, I can look out of my window most evenings and see a group of 8 to 9 lads and a couple of girls just dossing about on the street. That's not social distancing. That's not them taking it seriously. That's a gathering of people that shouldn't be happening. And people are going to say, oh, but you're a fan of these draconian measures and you're not understanding that people are social creatures. I do. I very much understand that human beings are social creatures. I get it. I understand. But I also am well aware that we need to do what we need to do in order to make this virus go away. And it's not going to last forever. It's literally short-term pain for long-term gain. And there are people out there that are suffering with mental problems or mental health problems, and if you are one of those people, I encourage you to pick up a telephone and speak to someone, even if it's a friend, even if it's your mum, your dad, your nan, your sister, your brother, someone you haven't spoke to for years. Pick up a phone and talk to someone about it. Don't be ashamed to get on the phone and unburden yourself, because if you share that with someone and they take the time to listen, you may find that you've got something in common with someone else. Because, you know, yes, I'm at home. I've got my 2 kids. I've got my missus. I've got my dog in the bedroom, you know, sleeping, hopefully. But it's difficult for me. I haven't been able to see my mum or my dad or my aunt or my sister, or my friends and colleagues for that matter, for nearly a year now. And it is difficult. It is difficult. I mean, yes, I'm with my family, and a lot of people say that I'm very lucky to have that. But it is trying when I don't get to see anyone else other than them. So I'm not going to take them for granted. I'm very grateful for the fact that I get my family every day. A lot of people don't. But even in the position I'm in, it's very difficult to cope, really, with lack of human interaction. So I understand how difficult it is. But we need to do this. We need to, as a nation, dig our heels in And when things start to reopen, don't start being silly with it. Getting silly with it, but don't start getting silly with it. Just because the cinemas might open doesn't mean you have to go and rush to the cinema. Just because the pubs might open doesn't mean you have to go to the pub and you have to go and have a drink and you have to socialise. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. You see, there is a thought process that we all need to go through when it comes to trying to keep things on the straight and narrow. Obviously, we're well over 15 million vaccines now, or first doses of vaccine, which is fantastic. And I would urge anyone to go and have the vaccine, unless you have a medical reason which states otherwise. It has been proven to be safe, otherwise it wouldn't be out there. And yes, there are some side effects. I mean, I had the Pfizer vaccine, and I did have some side effects. What is a pub? That's funny. But I did have some side effects. I was good on the day. The day after, though, I felt terrible. In fact, I arguably felt worse or equal to when I had COVID. But that was literally for a day. I had a temperature, my bones were achy, I couldn't move much, I felt like crap. But as quick as my symptoms came, my symptoms disappeared. So it's very easily dealt with. But not everyone gets side effects from these vaccines. I mean, my aunt, she had the Pfizer vaccine about a week before I did. She had nothing. Many people have no side effects whatsoever. But the thing is, it's like any vaccine, whether you get the flu jab, whether you get any kind of vaccine, even your jabs and boosters as a baby, there's always a side effect. So using side effects as an excuse not to take a vaccine, which will save your life at this point, is silly. So go and take a vaccine. It takes less than 3 seconds. You lift it up, they give it a wipe, in, out, shake it all about, go and sit in a room for 15 minutes just so they can keep an eye on you, make sure you're not going to have some kind of anaphylactic shock, which is highly unlikely. But go and have your jab. As and when you're called, go and have it. That is the only way out of this. But apart from the jab, we do need to make sure we're doing what we can. And even when it comes down to buses, bus drivers, my friends and colleagues out there, on whatever route you drive and whatever company you're from, you need to make sure that your buses aren't overcrowded, which means if you have to say to people, look, this bus is full, I'm sorry, I can't take you. You're going to have to be firm but fair. Firm but fair, or polite and firm. It actually says it in the big red book. You have to be polite but firm when making a request to passengers to follow for their own safety. Even if they tap the Oyster card, and at that point you've already told them, look, I can't take you. You've touched your Oyster card on. You shouldn't have. Just print out a transfer ticket, give it to them, explain the situation, and as long as you're polite and you explain and you're not rude, majority of people will definitely understand exactly what's going on there. Another thing that we can all do as a nation to try and help matters when things eventually start to reopen is, I know we all want to go shopping. There's a lot of people out there that want to go to Primark. They want to go Primark, have to get those pants and socks and all those things for summer. But you don't have to go when it opens. Literally, just go and do what you would normally do when you would normally do it. Just because it's open, you don't have to go and flock, because what's then going to happen is going to be queues, the place is going to be packed, you're going to end up getting the ump with people that are standing right up close behind you, and it's just going to become a very unpleasant experience, and you're not going to want to go back in there again, because whatever. So as and when things start to reopen, just because they are doesn't mean you have to go then. Just take your time. Let other people do the idiot stuff first. That's all I can suggest on that matter, is let other people be the idiots. And look at me playing with the beard. You haven't seen me for about 3.5 weeks. My beard's gone. And And yes, the grey's gone. I've coloured it. Yes, I've become a great big man-tart and I colour my beard. So what? Sue me. But yeah, we can all do our part, basically. We all need to make sure we're taking responsibility for ourselves when things start to reopen, because what will happen, and I've said this to a couple of people who follow me on Facebook, and I'm not going to recommend everyone follow me on Facebook, because that does become a bit of a chore trying to keep up with people's comments and talking to me, because it is my personal account. There's only a select few which I have on my personal Facebook. But if you want to get in contact with me, like I said, join me on Twitter at Real Talk Vlogger. I do read comments. You can get in contact with me there, give me video suggestions. I really appreciate that, but please try and stay away from Facebook. But I've lost my train of thought because I've been waffling on about something which didn't need waffling on about. But we all need to take some kind of responsibility. That's it. That's what I was saying. I was saying to Transport Hub yesterday, in fact, that even though Boris Johnson said that he wants to make this reopening irreversible, and he doesn't, I do not want to go back into a lockdown. It'd be absolutely disastrous for the economy and everything else that goes along with it. I unfortunately, I'm going to make another prediction, and all the predictions that I've made so far, going back to roughly this time last year, all the numbers that I've said, all the things that should have happened, all the numbers that I've said when the numbers will be, have been, and I feel really bad for that, because I really didn't want those numbers to be accurate, and unfortunately, we're approaching March. And from March, we're going to be approaching April as time goes by. And this is the sort of thing that, it's just time. But unfortunately, as time passes, the number that I predicted for deaths in the UK is coming ever closer. And Transport Hub, I know you're watching. I can't actually remember. And I know I ask you all the time. If you could drop a comment down below and just to let people know what number I said of the highest amount and by when, and you'll see that I'm not far off. I've got a funny feeling that there is going to be another lockdown, unfortunately, and I don't want this to happen. And we all need to make sure this doesn't happen, because going and doing all these different things which I said people do, which is crowding in pubs, crowding in cinemas, crowding in Primark, crowding on buses, crowding in the supermarket, just being general inconsiderate anuses, is going to end up putting us back into a lockdown, whether Boris wants to or not. He made it very clear at the first lockdown that he wouldn't hesitate to do it again. And a lot of people criticise him for that, but I feel that he's had a very hard time, and he's had a lot of hard decisions to make. And he's made those decisions not because he wants to, but because he has to. And I feel, unfortunately, that if he has to put this country back into lockdown, I think he will by the end of July. So Transport Hub has quoted me on this because he is very good at what he does by keeping track of stats and stuff. 95 to 130,000 deaths I predicted, and I believe that was by the end of April into May. And we're not far off that number, and I made that prediction a while ago. Richard Coughlin, good morning, thanks for joining me, and I do apologise if I've butchered your surname there, because my pronunciations and reading skills have become quite bad lately. Another thing which I just want to touch on quickly in regards to long COVID. Now, with long COVID, you do suffer some symptoms for a while, and obviously I lost my sense of smell and I lost my sense of taste, and it still isn't 100%. I'm still suffering with that loss of smell and taste, but only ever so slightly. Things taste slightly different to the point where I'm actually starting to get used to it, so it kind of tastes normal. But another side effect which I haven't really logged with anyone, but it's when I was suffering with the COVID, I found it very hard trying to focus and remember something, and I was finding it difficult to focus and read. Which is really, really weird, because there has been a slight fuzziness associated with having COVID, the COVID fuzzy brain. Some people do suffer with that, but since having COVID, I find it very, very not difficult, but yeah, do you know? Yeah, let's say difficult to read. I mean, obviously, I can read very well, but I find that I look at words now and I know what it's saying, and I'm reading it in my head, but articulating it out is almost like a form of dyslexia, which I never had before. And I had that when I had COVID and now. Don't worry, it's an Irish surname. A lot of people do the same thing. I'm used to it. I appreciate your patience with me, Richard. I do. Is it Coughlin? Please say it's Coughlin. Richard Coughlin. If I'm talking with an Irish accent there, I'm not sure what part of. I think that might be a bit of a Northern Irish accent there. So if it's Richard Coughlin, then I'd appreciate that if you give me some kind of feedback or to my accent there and my pronunciation. So there's that. But yeah, that's a bit of a weird one. So maybe it's just me. Maybe I do need to see a doctor about it, or maybe I just need to read more or read out loud. Because I mean, I read my kids, or my youngest, I read him a story every night, and I just found that even though I read every night with him, and it was never a problem before, I find myself struggling to articulate my words out when I'm reading now, and I never had that problem before COVID. So I'm just saying, maybe it is a symptom, maybe it is a side effect. I'm not too sure. But no, I am still alive. I am still here. Don't worry. It's just been difficult trying to get a chance to go live. So today I've managed to lock my kids in their bedroom. They're playing video games. There's that. The dog isn't going to be tap dancing around the wooden floor with his claws because he's in my bedroom, probably asleep on my bed, licking my pillow. So I'm going to have to change my bedclothes today. That's going to be fun. Ooh, crisp bed sheets. Does anyone ever like that when you change your bed sheets? I know we don't like washing bed sheets because it is nothing but annoying. But when you have those crisp bed sheets on your bed, and you slip yourself into that bed and the sheets are nice and smooth and cold, and you can smell the fabric softener, and it's just amazing for one night. Let's have a look. Richard says 9 out of 10 for the accent, 2 out of 10 for the surname. I do apologise. I'm sorry, Richard. Do me a favour, if you could break down the pronunciation of your surname right now, how I would pronounce it and spell it phonetically, I'd really appreciate that, because I feel like a bit of a wally now. So, Coughlin, it's not Coughlin. Coughlin? Is it Coughlin? I don't know. I feel really bad. But do you know what? From having a 9 out of 10 for an Irish accent from an Irishman, I appreciate that. That tells me that I'm doing something right. Well, my Scottish one's not great, you know. I suppose it depends what part of Scotland you're from, really. I mean, there's a saying that Edinburgh is a posh city full of thugs, and Glasgow is a thug city full of posh people. So there you go. Your surname is easier than mine. Yeah, I'm not going to lie, Jack. I've tried to pronounce your surname on more than one occasion, and I feel like I butcher it every single time. So I'm not even going to bother going there. There you go. I'm not doing it. Not happening. So there is that. On the plus side of being stuck at home all the time, though, I have been cooking quite a lot. Well, I was always a bit of a cook anyway, but I've been trying to experiment with cooking, so there's that. Obviously, being the 18th, 4 days ago, we had Valentine's Day. This year was a bit of a strange one because obviously we are in lockdown and we didn't want to spend any money we agreed this year not to get presents for each other. So we did cards. So I moonpigged a card over for my missus, and my missus made that for me, and I think that's absolutely wonderful. Um, and all these were cut out using a specialized printer. That's vinyl, not card. And it's just a nice thing, you know, that little personal touch. Look, it's even three-dimensional, if you can see that. Look, you know, it's all lifted up, and little things like that make a difference. That to me is a personal touch, which I really, really love. So that's my Haley doing that, my dearly beloved. But no, Valentine's Day was difficult at home, and we've got COVID-19 watching. Hello, COVID. How are you? Nice to see you. You've affected me this year, but you're not as much as other people, unfortunately. Good morning, Chris, says Lee and Ashley's channel. Hope you're safe and well. And what's the weather like in London, mate? Grey, miserable and rainy. Although, about an hour and a half ago, it was quite sunny. And I was tempted to go over the park. And you know what happens is the second you put your shoes on, when you start getting ready to go somewhere, the heavens open up. And that's pretty much what happened today. So we're going to have a day at home yet again. Another bit of exciting news, as today is the 18th. Today is the day that NASA's Mars Perseverance rover is due to land on the red planet itself. Now, for those of you who don't know what's happening with the Perseverance rover, it is a rover just like Curiosity, and it's going there, and it's got about 19 or so cameras on it. It's the most advanced vehicle to ever go onto any planet, really, to my knowledge. But what makes this one unique is the fact that it has a drone. And I'm not sure how well this is going to work. I am not Pedro. Hi. Thanks for joining me. So the Perseverance rover is due to be landing on Mars at some point today. And obviously we won't know what's happening because there's a 7 or so minute delay of communication between Mars and Earth. So by the time we realise it's entering the atmosphere, it could either be on the planet and sending data back, or it could have exploded into a billion pieces. But we'll wait and see. But no, this one has a drone, and I find this particularly exciting. Please move down inside the bus, says Smoke Nando's, because Mars's atmosphere is incredibly thin. It is. It's incredibly thin. And for those of you who know how helicopters work, you need a thick, soupy atmosphere like we have here in order to get any kind of lift through the rotation of blades. So this thing has 2 rotors, which I believe spin parallel to each other at a very high rate in order to cut through that Martian atmosphere. And it'll be interesting to see if it actually works and starts beaming things back, because obviously it's got a solar panel on top to charge the lithium-ion batteries, and it's going to communicate with the rover, and the rover communicates back to us, and hopefully we'll get an amazing pictures and stuff that's coming from Mars very soon. Richard says, when are you going to do a Zoom call with Anton? This is a very good question, because I tried setting up a Zoom a few weeks back to set up on here so I could go live and have people join me as and when they felt like it, and my internet connection didn't allow it for the bandwidth. However, since then I have recently changed my internet provider, and I've gone, well, I'm going to say it, I'm going to give Virgin Media a plug, because not many people recommend Virgin Media. I'm going to. I was paying Sky. Now, Sky, if anyone works for Sky, Smoke Nando's, give me 1 sec, I will get to you in a sec. If anyone pays for Sky and they don't have TV with Sky, they just do what I do and have Now TV. But if you have Sky for your phone line and your broadband, and you're paying for fibre at £29 a month, and don't get me wrong, that is an amazing price with Sky. because I haggled with them so bad to get that price because they just weren't giving me the performance that I was paying for. So that is very, very cheap. £29 a month for Fibre Max, which should have been up to and over 60 megabytes a second download and with a landline. However, when I'm only getting 30 megabyte download, and it got so bad to the point where Sky said to me, look, we're going to write off January's bill, I started doing a bit of shopping, and I found Virgin Media was doing a deal of it was £26 a month for 100 meg of download. And I thought, you know what, I don't use the landline. The landline's only there really so I can have the internet. No one ever calls me apart from fake Virgin calls where it goes, hello, this is a call from Virgin Media. No, not Virgin Media, sorry, my apologies. Amazon. Hello, this is a call from Amazon. Your Amazon account is in arrears. Please press 1 to pay this balance now. Seriously, if you get that phone call, hang the phone up, don't do anything, don't press anything. It is complete scam. Those were the only calls I was getting. So I thought, you know what, I'll go with Virgin Media. So I gave them a call. I tried initially to do it online with a chat bot on the website, and it just didn't really work out because eventually when I did start talking to someone, they just weren't very helpful. So I gave them a call, and it turns out you get a better deal if you give them a call, because for £3 extra from 26, I now pay £29 a month. I doubled the speed. Okay, so I'm getting like 215 something megabytes per second download, and it's consistent. It's very consistent actually, and I got a 5 gigabyte SIM, which I can put in my son's phone with a data cap on it and such. And that was literally for £1 more than I was giving Sky, and it's very. Hang on, what have I got? Window capture. Give me one sec. Window capture. Yes. We'll go with that one. So what we've got here. Hello, everybody. Let me just make that a bit bigger. This is either going to go really, really bad or really, really wrong. So here we have here is the Ookla speed test. Many of you have it on your mobile phone. You've got Windows. You can actually download this as well for your Windows PC. And I'm not sure about Mac, but maybe you can do it on Mac. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit go. And we're going to see the sort of speeds that I'm getting. Bearing in mind, I'm streaming to YouTube. Look at that. I'm streaming to YouTube at 60 frames a second on a 30 frame per second webcam, which makes no sense to many people, I know. My sons are playing on the Switch. They're playing on the Xbox. I've got this doing what it's doing in the background. My phone's connected. I've got my Xbox running in the background as well. And that is 220 megabytes per second, and that is literally amazing. And that never drops. It's so consistent. It is absolutely unreal. So let me just remove that window capture. So the reason why I haven't done any Zoom calling with anyone really is literally because of the bandwidth. And I'm hoping now that I've got a really good, fast and stable internet connection, which is coming straight down the fibre. Why is the upload speed low? That's just what it is. The thing is, to upload something doesn't need as much as it takes to download something. So even though this is streaming outwards at about 6,000 kilobytes per second, 19 megabytes upload is still well above any kind of me giving information to the system. So download is always faster than upload. You'll never have an upload speed faster than your download speed. That's just the way that works. So let's have a look here. Let me have some of these comments. So I do apologize if I've not managed to get to everyone. And what is going on here? There we go. So it's chucking it down here. Please move down. So please hold on. The bus is about to... That's quite funny. Doom was recommended to join new... No, go away. Please hold on. The bus is about to spreading. Right, that makes perfect sense. But I know roughly what you're getting at. I live in Mars. I live in Mars too. So yeah, Richard, going back to your comment, I will be doing a Zoom call, hopefully, this week. I know it's Thursday today and it's Friday tomorrow, and we haven't got much left of this week, and kids are going back to school next week. So I'm hoping to get a Zoom call going. And what I will do, so please keep an eye on my Twitter page. Okay, go and sign up to Twitter if you haven't got me on there already. It's Real Talk Vlogger. Find me on there. When I do a Zoom video, I'll be setting up a new meeting and I'll be putting the password, not the password, the Zoom meeting details on Twitter. Okay, and what you want to do if you wish to join me is direct message me and I will give you the password if I'm happy with you to join me, which is something that I've been wanting to do for quite a while. So all this that you can see here will be going through Zoom, and then you won't be none the wiser, but all of a sudden, bang, I knock the microphone off and then there'll be two people on the screen at once. So I do apologise for that little outburst there, but yeah, that's what's going to be happening, hopefully. So going on back to Virgin Media, Virgin's the best. Been with Virgin for 3 years. I'm with Virgin, says Richard. I saw Mickey a couple of weeks ago. What does this say? He's a cool lad. Do you know what? Mickey is a great guy. I talk to Mick on a somewhat frequent basis. Talk to him on the phone. If you're talking about tricky Mickey, yeah, he's a decent guy. And the thing is with Mick is I don't know how to do it. I say to this all the time. Say this to him all the time. The man's a machine. He's an absolute machine. He knows pretty much every go-ahead route going. So I've got my little flat cap going there. Let me just take that one off and put my work flat cap on. Look, oh yeah. See, I like the fit of this one better. It's just a shame that it's got the bus logo on the back. I'm going to try and pick that off. I don't know. I like my flat caps. So although saying that, although I do like my flat caps, you cannot beat flat cap bus driver Sean Grice. Great guy. If you haven't found him yet, which is highly unlikely, go and drop a sub to the flat cap bus driver. What a guy. Been with them for 12 years. Oh, really? That's interesting. Or the Indian guy claiming to be from the HMRC. Yeah, that's funny. That is quite funny. Why is upload speed low? Because it is. Can you work from home being a bus home drive to... no. There was a question, actually. I do apologise. I didn't get to answering it, and I've just remembered it. It was about OMSI 2. And I do not play OMSI 2. And the reason why I do not play OMSI 2 through Steam is because I haven't purchased it. And the reason why I didn't purchase it at the time was because it didn't have any routes that I was familiar with. And I know now there is a London update for OMSI 2. And the route that I drive is on OMSI 2. However, at this point, I am not willing to pay that sort of money for the base game and then extra for the London update. Also, for a game that's been out for as long as it has, I'm not happy with the level of detail in the game. For me, as someone who plays a lot of PC games, let's be fair, and as someone who's built my PC from scratch, I feel that game is capable of running on a potato, and when I build something which is relatively high spec, I want to get my money's worth out of it. So maybe it's just a bit of a purist thing, I'm not too sure. I will download it at some point when I can afford it, but at this point I can't justify it. Wow, you're not interested in driving other routes in a game as well? Of course I'm interested in driving other routes in a game. It's not a case of that, but I like my route. I do actually love the job. And it would just be nice to have a bit of familiarity with it. So obviously there are other routes in the game, other places in the game, but I'm a very simple, narrow-minded person when it comes to some things, and I just would like to play that game for my route initially and other routes that I know. That being said, before the London update was actually thought of, I messaged the developers of OMSI, and I cannot remember their name. This was around about 2 to 3 years ago. And I asked them, would they be willing to do it? And they didn't reply to me. I then also said to them, if they did wish to do it, a London update, which included my route, which funny enough, it does include my route, I'd be willing to help them with the route itself, to test it, to see how accurate it was. And they didn't get back to me there. I was willing to give them the accurate curtailment points on the route, so they could get road by road accurate curtailment turns, and possibly diversion routes. And they didn't get back to me at all, which I thought was quite rude. And I did explain to them that obviously I am a bus driver and this would help benefit the game, but they didn't want to know. So if there is a lack of accuracy in that game, which could have been helped with an actual bus driver going through it, then, there we go. Latest announcement on London buses. This bus is ready to depart. Please hold the handrail. Reason being, no one holding due to COVID infected handrail worries. This is very true. And this is why I encourage everyone. Where is it actually? Have I got it here? No, I've not got it here. I would encourage... Oh, here it is, look. Hand gel. This is homemade stuff. It is made with alcohol. You can buy from various different places. You can buy it online, but it's non-consumable alcohol. I just want to make that very clear. But the homemade stuff, it kills corona. So I take your own hand gel if you can. I believe it's 2 parts alcohol to 1 part aloe vera gel or something. But find the recipe. Don't quote me on that. Make your own. It is fantastic. But take hand gel with you. Take baby wipes with you. Take Wilco disinfectant wipes with you in a bag. Just to wipe your hands or hold on to the handrail with one of these wipes. Don't touch anything. I'm telling you. I mean, do you know what? I actually got on a bus for the first time in a year, 2 weeks ago. I was walking from here to King's College, and it was a decent walk. I mean, I haven't done that walk for quite a while, so it did actually take the wind out of my sails a little bit. But I got to the top of Red Post Hill. Some of you may know it. And it started to rain. And it didn't just rain, it poured. And I thought, you know what, I'm not dealing with this. So I actually waited for a bus. And I got a bus for the last half a mile to the hospital. I mean, I had already walked about 3.5. So it was at least half a mile there. And I got on the bus. And give it to the bus driver, the bus wasn't packed. Okay, so I was quite happy to stand in the wheelchair bay and not hold on to anything at all. Just stand there and balance. But I felt quite uncomfortable, and I wouldn't have touched anything in there, let alone sit on the seats. And when I see people on the bus not wearing a mask and have a kind of weird smirk about their face, like, I'm not wearing a mask, you can't make me wear a mask, blah, 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 blah. It's sad. It is sad. If you drink hand sanitizer, you will get super drunk. This is very true. You will get super drunk. However, you will also become very, very, very ill, which is why a lot of hand sanitizer in hospitals is actually non-alcohol based, because unfortunately the winos were going in there and squirting it into their mouths and then running away. Which is a sad thing, really. It shouldn't happen. So, anyway, this is a catch-up I've been giving people. I am still alive. Don't worry, I am still here. Videos are going to be very, very slow to get out. because I can't do anything, especially in the evening when my kids are asleep, because I end up keeping them awake, and anything during the daylight now isn't really fair on them because I'm having to keep them in their bedroom, which isn't fair on them. But hopefully, as and when they get back to school, I'll be able to do a live during the day more often. And obviously, when I start getting back to work and I start walking to work, I'll be going live on my daily walks too, and possibly from work as well. But don't worry, please bear with me, stick with me. If it's your first time joining me, I appreciate it, the fact that you've taken your time out of your day to click on this person here called Chris with his dulcet tones. And quickly, before I leave, before I go anywhere, I've got something to share with you, and if it's something that interests you, please give it a click. So I've been struggling with furlough money for the last year, but the one thing which has helped me save money has been an app on my mobile phone called Plum. Okay, Plum. You might have seen ads for it on Facebook, you might have seen ads for it somewhere else. A lot of people think it's a scam. It really is not a scam. I save so much money with Plum, and it doesn't even affect me. So the way it works, and before anyone asks me, this isn't a sponsored plug, this is genuinely me trying to help you, and if you click on it, you'll be helping me as well, which is the way it works out. So with Plum, you connect it to your bank account through the app, which is very secure, by the way. And then what happens is you tell it how much money you want it to save for you weekly or monthly. And then what it does is it monitors what goes in and out of your bank account. And if it sees that one week you've spent less than the other week, it will take that small amount of money and it will put it in the savings pot for you. So not only is money going weekly or monthly that you tell it to save, it also has a little look inside your bank account, realizes that you've not spent that money. So what I'm going to do is I'll take that for you, even if it's £2 or £3, and it holds it. And before you know it, you've managed to save quite a lot of money. I pay £1 roughly a month. I think it's £1 a month for the for a premium service, which allows me to use investments. Okay, so I've now got more in investments with Plum than I do in my actual savings with Plum. So if you want to go and do that, click on the link in the description below. Do it, because every 3 people that join using the link I'm sending you does me a favor. Plum give me £15. Okay, so it's a purely selfish thing, but I want you to save money as well, because you don't notice the money that it takes, and it holds it for you. And you can access that money at any time. It takes about a week for the money to clear and register in that account. You do not get a card with it. It's literally a savings account, but it is so good for helping to save money for people that find it very difficult. And when you sign up to Plum, you will get your own share code. Okay? So if you share your code with 3 people, you get £15. And for every 3 people that sign up to Plum using your code, you get a £15. And that there's no cap on that. So if you get 150 people to sign up to Plum using your code, there you go. So if you want to save some money, click on the link down below, which is my link for the Plum app, and do that. Save some money. You'd be doing me a favour. That'd be great. Before I go, I'm having no money worries after Friday. Gonna win the Euro, £176 million. Thank you, says Soft16 Stick. Well, good luck to you. I hope you do win it, and you can go and live in a house somewhere in the Bahamas, but still watch my channel. Anyway, I've been Chris. Thank you very much for joining me. Stay home, stay safe, protect the NHS, wash your hands, wash your bum. Thank you very much. Love you lots. Goodbye. Mwah.